if you're watching this, you probably don't have power today. So here is a little tutorial on how to get this Champion generator started and plug it into the furnace. All right, let's get going. Inside here, we turn these tabs over, face forward, vertical, and pull this off. And in here we have the carburetor right there, the air filter here, and this is where we add oil. So we're always going to make sure we check the oil level. We're going to turn it here. We're going to dry it off with a rag first, and then dip it in there. And you just have to hit it until it hits the threads. You don't have to screw it in. All right, then make sure it's at about mid-level on this dipstick. It'll kind of be within those threads. You might be able to see the top of the oil. But first we'll have to add. To add oil, we'll use the provided funnel and pour it right in. Okay, we've got our funnel out. You can see the oil in there, and it's nice and full. Maybe even too full, but that's okay. Now that we have enough oil, we can put this cover back on, snap into place, and then just twist to lock it, we're good to go. So now we can fill up with fuel. We use non-ethanol gasoline. You can get it at some Sheetz gas stations, or you can get it in the can at Home Depot. So filling it up now. We have this fuel gauge. To the right is empty, to the left is full. So we'll give it about half a tank. Over here on the other side of the generator, we have a selector switch and our ripcord. We have our little steps of what we do. We fill with oil, fill with fuel, we return it to the choked position. That is the start position there. So that's what is right here. Turn that all the way down, and then we'll pull the start cord. We'll turn it over to the running switch right there. And then if you have trouble starting it on the choke position, just move it to the run position and give it a pull. Start right up. Once it's started and you're up and running, you have either two normal 120 volt outlets or 120 volt 25 amp plug right here. And then there's also a 12 volt car charger, and there are breakers for each individual thing. And then this is for the paralleling to the second generator if you want to have a lot more power available. And then up here is the eco mode. If you put it in the eco mode, it will burn less fuel, and that will be less load on the engine. Then there's also a carbon monoxide shield, so if it detects that it's building up too much, that will reset it. Or if the inverter has an issue, you can press this reset button, and that should reset all the power things. Down here is also a grounding plug, so we can screw this in to a grounding rod and stick that in the ground for even safer use of the generator. So now you want heat for the home. So we have installed this easy generator switch, and it is switched to the normal position here. And so now we're going to want to plug in our cord that we plugged in outside. We'll plug that in right here to our easy generator switch. We'll then hit generator, and that should be all we have to do to have power to our furnace. Set it to desired temperature, and there we go. Okay, so now that the house is cozy warm and the power has magically come back, it's time to switch back to our normal operating conditions. So we'll switch this to off and then to normal, and then we'll unplug our generator, and we're all set over here, and I'll show you how to shut down the generator and store it for future use. Okay, so it's important that we unplug any devices first. Close it up, and then we can turn around the fuel switch has been turned like this and the generator eventually turns off, it will take maybe up to 5 minutes to drain all that fuel out. But you'll be ready to go. Next, if you're in a different situation and you need a lot more power and you have 2 inverters, then we can hook up the Paralink. So this will have 2 different plugs. This has a 50 amp plug and a 30 amp plug. For a whole house installation, so the panel that we're looking to get to put over there, we'll be able to use this with both generators. And so that's the same as, or the 30 amp plugs, or the 50 amp, or one of those is the same as that plug. So it's not 240 volts, it's still just 120, but then we can use up to 8,000 starting watts or 3,000 normal running watts. So I'll show you how to hook that up. So we got plugs here that match up with the red and the black here. So we'll hook that up here, like so, and like so. We have a grounding plug on that. And then on the other one, we have the same thing. And we do this while the generators are off. Get those plugs off, those plugs off. Nicely plugged in. Double check that one, this one. And we can't do this one in the rain. It's just, this is not waterproof. Okay, so now we can start these up and should have double the power.